What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today, we got another treat for you. And this one's actually pretty special because it's rare that you see these kind of things. Actually, it's not really that rare because these kind of phenomena only has been recently popping up. And I got my own theories on that too. But this one is rare in a sense of the situation behind the current meltdown. And for those of you guys who know what I'm talking about this recent case of a Karen having another breakdown. Yes. You guys are all well aware of the rise of the Karens having mental breakdowns and shit. It's mostly these old broads. I mean, talking about old, I'm talking about these 30 to 40-year-old broads who basically either don't have a man or just goddamn miserable, and they want to complain and pull the victim card on anybody or anything that they see, especially if they're not getting in the way. Those are the Karens, right? But in this case, we got a special Karen. We got a real special Karen. And this Karen essentially got busted with a whole lot of dicks by her man. And he basically is confronting her, and you get to watch the beautiful debaucherous unfolding of the Karen mental faculties. Let's take a look.
Why?
I don't think so.
Why? No, give me the recording. Give it to me now. Give me the recording. Give it to me. Give it.
Fellas,
What
this
recording?
is a grown woman.
You're making a recording.
This is a
right
grown
now with
woman.
me.
Yes,
Give
I am.
it to me.
I'm just letting you know I'm recording
Give
you.
it to me right now. No, give it to me.
So this can be proven in court.
Give it to me. No.
Get out of my
No,
car.
I won't.
Terry!
No, please don't, please don't.
Hi, Joe. Can you come over?
No.
They're coming over. She's right there.
No, please. No, you're killing me.
What do you want me to do? I don't understand. I'm not doing anything wrong.
No.
Are you kidding me?
Hold up, I got something to say real quick. All right. First of all, guys, I want you guys to take notes. All right. I want you to take notes. All right. The thing is, I've spent a lot of times in sales. And what essentially that you learn is reading body language. You get good at reading the unspoken word that people exhibit all the time without even knowing they exhibit, which is their body language and the way they do things, right? And especially with women, they take this and it's on a whole different level. What this woman here is doing is all fake. This is all for show, right? The thing is, with women, and Karens know how to do this better than most, is when all ops fail, especially when you catch them in the wrong, the last ditch effort is to pull this stop. It's to start crying. It's to start acting like an actual child, right? And the goal of that is because whenever a woman acts vulnerable, what it does, it elicits a masculine response from the nearest males, right? So what this lady's trying to do, she's trying to elicit that, oh, protect me. You see I'm vulnerable. The problem is, you got busted. You got busted with a bunch of dicks. So essentially what's happening is this dude's pretty much checked out, and this is doing it for security reasons. But take note of the action, because as soon as this action, when this woman realizes that her bitching and whining like a freaking 2-year-old toddler in a candy store isn't working, it's gonna cut out immediately, and she's gonna try a new tactic. Guys, women are masters of this shit. That's why when a broad starts crying, I look at you like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, especially if your daddy didn't die, your mommy didn't die, you're nothing happened to you, there's no reason why you should be crying. You're trying to get something out of me, and it's not gonna work. So a lot of you guys, start paying attention to this shit. You know, it's out there. Let's continue.
No. Please.
What do you mean to do?
No,
What do you want me to do? I don't need this. Just leave me. Just go. I don't know what I can do to make you better. Like, where do I go from here to make it better? I don't understand. So you need to.
You're killing me, John. You're killing me.
Pause it right there. She's doing all of this for the goddamn tape that this guy's recording right now. That's it. all this tantrum you're seeing is not because she got busted with a whole lot of dicks. It's not because of that. It's not because she could potentially destroy her family. She could, I'm sure she has kids. She could potentially not see her kids again. All these different things. And you know what she's worried about? She's worried about the goddamn tapes. And I explain to you why that's very important in a second here. Let's keep playing.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
Come on.
No.
Get out of my car truck.
No, I won't.
I wouldn't even touch her. Just let her stay in there and watch her. This thing with a lot of these chicks, man, when they start acting out, literally watch them like you would a child. Like, just watch them. And then when they're done acting out, then you get to adult business.
Show me all of them and make sure it's deleted now.
Which part?
No, just delete the whole thing. I see what you're doing to me.
What am I doing? I'm protecting myself.
No.
This is the protection.
No.
Come on in, bub.
No.
You beat me yesterday in Gold's parking lot. I got 6 witnesses.
Stop it.
So, go ahead, buddy.
Always have a voice recorder or a video camera on you when you're dealing with these broads. All right, pull out your phone, especially when they start wilding out. That's gonna be your best protection in this world, bro.
Give me your phone and delete it now.
Get out.
Delete it now. Please delete it. I see what you're doing.
I'm protecting myself.
Oh, no.
Yes, I am.
No. No.
This is just painful to watch. I mean, because you know she's faking. You know this is not real.
She won't get on my truck. No, I
Get in the house, Golden. Get in the house.
Oh, voice done changed.
He can stay in the house. He's 6 years old. He knows he can sit in the house.
He also knows mom's not right.
Give me the phone now.
Right in front of your kid.
Give me the phone. So go in the house now. You don't have a choice. Go in the house
Where you
right
got it?
now.
See, if you'd been
Sullivan.
inside, you wouldn't have got that bite.
Go in the house right now. You have no choice but to go in the house.
He's
Sullivan.
worried. His mom.
Fuck that. Nah. He gonna stay right there and watch yo crazy ass. So then when we get to court, he gonna say, hey judge, your honor, I saw mama in the car acting just like me. Yeah, no. But here's the thing. You guys see how her voice changed as soon as the kid popped up? You see how she flipped like that on a dime? Because no matter what, women, they're always conscious about how they're perceived. That's basically how this whole thing works. And it goes back to the earlier point that I wanted to make while she was so adamant, even till this point, understanding that she's making a fool of herself, right? She's still worried about the tapes. So why the tapes so important, especially to a woman, right? It's not the tapes itself, but the image that it's going to represent. Because you got to understand, women, all right, no matter what, they have to project themselves in a way that's supposed to be virtuous, supposed to be good, supposed to be in a way that reduces friction when they interact with groups. The reason why is because women, throughout thousands of years, they needed the collective to survive. There's no woman out there that's gonna go out there and survive by herself. That's just not gonna happen. Us dudes, we're different, all right? We have the mental wherewithal and know-how and the strength physically to be able to go out there and handle ourselves. And I'm not saying all of us would be able to do that. There's some fat fucks out there that'll probably die. But I'm saying that as a whole, in general, if you were to put men out there by themselves versus women, they're gonna die. The women are gonna die. It is what it is. They need the collective, right? And what essentially happens is women have to protect their image, right? They have to protect their reputation, because let's face it, It's not us that are calling women the S words and all that stuff, where we're calling them out and calling them sluts and all these goddamn things. It's not us doing that. It's the women. Women judge themselves harshly about that, right? When they do all these things, they're doing it in favor of the sisterhood because of that collective. She's right now, this woman is acting on her biological need to survive. Those tapes are important because when those tapes come out, they're not only going to expose her as a cheater, because she's not going to go use the go-to move most women use as their own go-to move, which is blaming the guy, telling the guy that he's an asshole, he's the reason why he's doing that. Nah, I got video evidence, I got text messages of you fucking with a whole lot of dicks. That's basically what it is. So I got all these evidence, and now, that's not gonna look too good for me as a woman, because now I can't finagle and wash and wind my way through this. All right, they got tapes on me. On top of that, they got tapes of me acting like a 6-year-old, acting like the same age as my son. It goes to show you, fellas, and I say this countless time and time again, women aren't children. They're not. They just behave like it when they don't get what they want. And I'm not saying all women, but majority of women behave this way. You trigger them hard enough, they're going to behave this way. A lot of women, they have the exact same components, just they look different. It's the exact same problems, just to different degrees. You got to understand, there's nothing special about most of these broads. There's really nothing special. And when you choose to wife one up in this day and age, you got to understand the reason why you're really doing it. If you're a legacy man and you want a family and things like that, I understand. It's important to build a legacy and things like that. I get it. But you also have to have something to build. You have to actually have something built. You can't be some regular Joe Schmo, trying to pass on, his $45,000 a year down to his kids, because most of you guys making that kind of money, you don't save. You don't understand good financial management. So that's a problem. So we live paycheck to paycheck, so there's not a lot of us doing our thing right now. So we got to understand that when you choose to get involved with a woman, and it's not for marriage or legacy and stuff like that, you got to think really hard about what you're doing, because you are signing a contract. And on top of that, this kind of contract is something that, can seriously hurt you if she decides to change her mind. And women change their mind all the time. In this case, she changes her mind about him. She just didn't tell him until she was ready to monkey branch. But in this case, he caught her before she was able to do that. So that goes to show you, it doesn't matter if she's married. It doesn't matter if she's your girlfriend. It doesn't matter if she's just a broad you're talking to. It doesn't matter. She's talking to other dudes. I'm telling you right now, some of you guys who are married or in relationships, you're like, oh, my girl will never do that to me. I can't. The vast majority of women I'm with right now that are agreeing with this whole non-committal thing I'm doing, majority of them either married or got relationships right now. And it works out for me because I don't have to be the guy that basically has to deal with them all the time, right? If anything, they put themselves on the time crunch because they know what the hell they're doing. So after dealing with me, they know what time it is. It's time to go, because they got a whole nother man that they got to please. And the thing is, I understand what my role is. I get what my role is. There's no complaints here. Believe me, I don't want anything more. But those are the kind of chicks that are the ones that are prone to be a lot more wild. I'm not saying all married chicks do this. I'm not saying all girls in relationships do this. I'm just saying the vast majority of it do them now. And relationships aren't as sacred as we think they are. They're not. It's a new day and age now. And y'all got to wise up to this stuff. If you're not understanding that hey, if you don't curb your girl's behavior, if you don't do your due diligence as a man to train her to understand that, hey, I got value and I ain't gonna stand for this shit. If you don't do your due diligence to that, that's on your fault. That's really your fault. And she will act out. It's happened to me. When I got married, I got too comfortable. I used to be this guy before I got married, but a lot less of a dick, right? I was kind of a dick, but a lot less of a dick. But when I got married, I became fat. I became complacent. I stopped striving for a whole lot. It was just a whole different game. And when I got comfortable, she got uncomfortable, and it was a wrap. So what you got to understand is, when you choose to get into relationships, you got to hold that frame. You can't be this masculine dude all of a sudden and then get into a relationship and turn into a boy, because that's when she's going to start looking for other options. So if you do decide to get in relationships, especially in 2021 and beyond, A, make sure you're working towards something. It's not just to get along, because that can lead to a whole set of problems too. And B, you got to make sure it's for a legacy. You got to have a plan for it. You got to have a plan for divorce ultimately. And you got to treat the divorce like you treat like an exit strategy of the business, right? Or what do you call it? Parachute, the golden parachute. Basically, y'all have to have this conversation. That's the thing. We don't have these conversations. Have the conversation what's going to happen. Hey, look, in the event that this doesn't happen, let's go ahead and work this out right now. You get to have this, X, Y. I can give you this. I do this, and then you give me this and that and this. And then move and go. And make sure you have it mediated, and make sure you have attorneys present to do it. Make sure that she has attorney present before it all go down. And if she's not willing to go through all that, you don't get married. As simple as that. But just understand, if you do, there's a higher propensity for her to cheat. And realistically, I think it's worse with married women than it is with women who have boyfriend and girlfriends. Because at least with married women, we ain't even gonna get there, man. Y'all not ready for that kind of game. But seriously, man, it's one of those things you gotta understand. It's out here, it's prevalent, and just when you think it's not happening to your girl, or your girl's not like that, bruh.